unparalleled prayer and boon born from compassion and love. On the auspicious day of Kartik Sud Ekadashi in Samvat 1858 or 1801 AD, the city of Jetpur in Saurashtra was filled with excitement from the morning. The fragrance of the sacred ahutis or offerings and the flames of the yagna created a divine atmosphere. Devotees were swarming the streets and walkways. The appointment of Sahajanand Swami as Guru of the Satsang was marked by a ceremony following Vedic customs. Ramanand Swami placed a har around Sahajanand Swami and applied sandalwood paste and a red chandlo to his forehead. Ramanand Swami then performed arti and directed Sahajanand Swami to assume the responsibility of the sampradaya by taking a seat on his own gadi, or his own spiritual throne. Then, speaking to the Swamis and followers, Ramanand Swami said, "Today, Purna Purushottam Narayan himself has blessed this earth to establish Bhagavad Dharma and to guide countless souls to Akshardham in the form of Swami Sahajanand. Your Kalyan is ensured if you fully comprehend this Swami Sahajanand's divine form and cultivate an everlasting nishta in him." Ramanand Swami then invited Sahajanand Swami to ask for a boon on this auspicious day. With folded hands, Sahajanand Swami humbly prayed, "First, if your satsangi is to suffer the pain of one scorpion sting, then may the pain of the sting of millions of scorpions befall on each and every pore of my body, but no pain should afflict your satsangi. Second, if your satsangi is destined to have a begging bowl or face severe hardship due to their past karma, then let that begging bowl come to me, or may that severe hardship fall upon me, but your satsangi should not suffer from want of food or clothing. Please grant me these two boons." On seeing the magnanimous sentiment of Sahajanand Swami, the eyes of Ramanand Swami and the devotees became wet with tears of joy, completely awestruck and filled with profound indebtedness upon hearing this deeply compassionate and unheard of prayer. Many people empathize with the suffering of others, but Bhagwan Swaminarayan took their pain upon himself and made his followers happy. In Vachanamrut Karyani 6, Shriji Maharaj says, "I have sacrificed my body for the sake of those who are devotees of God by word, thought, and deed." Such was Bhagwan Swaminarayan's profound love. Ajani Gharire Dhanya. The renowned poet Ladudan Gadvi was an expert in 4 languages, grammar, and the science of poetry, or the Pingal Shastra. He had mastered 24 different arts, including equestrian knowledge, or Ashvavidya, elephant training, Gajavidya, and Samudrik Shastra, or the study of body features and their significance. Gifted with exceptional intelligence, a sharp memory, and an innate ability for spontaneous poetry, he was honored with numerous titles and awards from various royal courts. These included Suvarna Chandrak, or the Golden Medallions, Raj Kaviratna, or the Royal Poet, Pingal Vidyacharya, or the Master of Poetic Science, Maha Mahopadhyay, the greatest of the great scholars, Mahashigra Kavishwar, or the Supreme Quick Poet, and Shatavadhani, a rare format of performance where the human intellect is put to the ultimate test of mental concentration on over 100 tasks at once. Once when Ladudanji visited Bhavnagar, Maharaja Vajesi Bapu summoned the royal jeweler to adorn him with gold ornaments. The jeweler had a striking Gopi Chandan tilak on his forehead, along with a round red kumkum chandlo. Curious about this, Ladudanji inquired about its significance. Before the jeweler could answer, Maharaja Vajesi Bapu interrupted and said, "Ladudan, I need you to resolve a dilemma of mine. In my kingdom, there is a village called Kadra. A man named Swaminarayan has come there. The Katis, or the warrior community, consider him to be Bhagwan. This appears to me as deception, and I request that you investigate him." Ladudan agreed to test Swaminarayan. However, the jeweler, trying to caution him, advised, "Kaviraj, if a statue made of salt enters the ocean to measure its depth, it will dissolve into the sea itself, so proceed wisely." Filled with the pride of youth, erudition, and fame, Ladudan set off to Gadra. En route, however, doubts arose in his mind. What if the rumors were true, and the goldsmith was right? Troubled by these thoughts, Ladudan resolved to impose 4 unspoken conditions upon Bhagwan Swaminarayan. He reasoned, if Swaminarayan is truly Bhagwan, then may he remove a garland of roses from his neck and place it around mine. May he address me by name and introduce me to the assembly. May he reveal to me the 16 divine marks said to be on the feet of Bhagwan, and may the Srimad Bhagavad Shastra be recited before me while resting on a black cloth. With these conditions, he reached the outskirts of Gadara. Upon entering the village, Ladudan experienced a divine peace. Sahajanand Swami was seated beneath a neem tree, surrounded by Swamis and devotees. Before him, the Srimad Bhagavad Shastra was being recited while resting on a black cloth. As Ladudanji entered Dadakachar's court, Swaminarayan Bhagwan called him by name, welcomed him by presenting the rose garland he had been wearing, and introduced him to the entire assembly. Simultaneously, Ladudan observed the 16 divine marks on Srihari's feet. Overwhelmed with joy, Ladudan spontaneously composed a verse. Ajani karire dhanya ajani ghadi, me nirikya sahajananda dhanya ajani ghadi. Blessed is this moment, truly blessed is this moment, for I have seen or met Sahajanand Swami. Truly precious is this moment. In that instant, the doors of Ladudan's heart opened. He entered a state of samadhi. In his trance, he beheld Shriji Maharaj seated in the magnificent Akshardham, more radiant than countless suns and moons. Within that divine abode, infinite liberated souls experienced the unending bliss of Srihari's beautiful form. Even after awakening, this vision of Shriji Maharaj remained vividly etched in his mind. Ladudan was transformed from a royal poet into Srihari's Paramans Brahmanand Swami. A Paramans is a Swami initiated by Bhagwan Swaminarayan. The salt statue had indeed dissolved into the sea. Many Paramanses underwent similar transformations, transitioning from worldly prominence to spiritual eminence. Nityanand Swami, a scholar of the 4 Veds, possessed vast scriptural knowledge. Gopalanand Swami was a master over the 8 yogic powers, could control the movements of celestial bodies. Sant Das could enter samadhi at will, while Swarupanand Swami maintained constant awareness of his Atma. Vyapakanand Swami revived a deceased horse. Nishkuranand Swami embodied renunciation and detachment, and Muktanand Swami exemplified saintliness. Gunatitanand Swami was the incarnation of Akshar Brahma, whose every pore contained countless universes. Bhagwan Swaminarayan's charisma and power were extraordinary. He initiated over 3,000 virtuous Paramansas, inspiring them to renounce their worldly lives and adhere to Niyam Dharma. What are the qualities of a humble servant? Sundarji Sutar, an administrator of the King of Kutch, once traveled to Gondal with the royal marriage procession from Bhuj. Upon arriving, he learned that Shriji Maharaj was in the nearby town of Bandia. Promptly, he entrusted the guards with the procession and hastened to Bandia for Shriji Maharaj's darshan. Shriji Maharaj, residing in Muru Kachar's house, decided to test Sundarji. "Who has come?" Shriji Maharaj inquired. "Maharaj, your humble servant," Sundarji replied. "What are the qualities of a humble servant?" Shriji Maharaj asked. "One who does as one is told," Sundarji answered. "Truly? Then renounce your worldly attire and ornaments immediately and become a Swami," Maharaj commanded. Sundarji relinquished his worldly possessions, shaved his head and beloved beard and mustache, and became a Swami without hesitation. Subsequently, Shriji Maharaj sent him on a pilgrimage to Kashi. Sundarji, a devotee of unwavering resolve, did not question Shriji Maharaj's seemingly odd request. Shriji Maharaj, with a grin, told Muktanand Swami, "Look at what I have done. I have transformed a minister into a renunciate." Muktanand Swami responded, "How can this be considered a great deed? While many in Kathiawar harass us, the people of Kutch were friendly due to Sundarji's presence. Now Jagjivan Karbari, the minister, who already dislikes us, will create even more difficulties. We may even be deprived of food in Kutch." Upon hearing Muktanand Swami's concerns, Shriji Maharaj said, "Then call him back." Mulji Brahmachari was sent to retrieve Sundarji. Upon their return, they bowed at Shiji Maharaj's feet. "Who has come?" Shiji Maharaj asked. "Your humble servant," Sundarji replied. "If you are a servant, then resume your original attire, take your shield and sword, and escort the prince to the bride's house," Shiji Maharaj instructed. As commanded, Sundarji, who had recently become a Swami, once again donned his worldly clothes and ornaments. However, his shaved beard and mustache could not be restored. Undeterred by potential public criticism, Sundarji obeyed Shiji Maharaj's command. Yet, this incident instilled a degree of false pride in Sundarji. He remarked to Shiji Maharaj, "Maharaj, do not subject others to such rigorous tests. They may not be able to endure them." Shiji Maharaj remained silent, but, as the destroyer of ego, he remembered Sundarji's words. Shiji Maharaj sought to eliminate all imperfections in his devotees. Even a devotee possessing the highest virtues was not immune to Shiji Maharaj's scrutiny if tainted by ego. Shiji Maharaj then devised a lila to dispel Sundarji's arrogance. During his travels, Shiji Maharaj reached Bhadra. From there, he sent a letter addressed to wealthy rulers and darbars, including Sura Kachar, Alaya Kachar, Amro Patkar, and others. Maharaj wrote, "Upon reading this letter, Macha, Sura, Somla, Mamaya, Ajja, Virdas, and other devotees, wherever you may be, at home or on your farms, renounce everything, including food and water. I will be pleased. Proceed to Jetalpur and receive initiation from Ramdas Swami. From there, journey to Kashi and meet me in Bhuj upon your return." Following Shiji Maharaj's wish, all the devotees left their homes. Kalyan Das from Kadu was amid his wedding rituals. His uncle, Ajja, arrived with Shiji Maharaj's letter, declaring his intention to become a Swami. Kalyan Das, upon reading the letter, felt compelled to follow Shiji Maharaj's command as well. Despite being in the middle of his own wedding, he decided to obey. Both of them immediately left to become Swamis, as instructed in Shiji Maharaj's letter. Although his name was not explicitly mentioned, Kalyan Das believed that infinite births have been wasted on worldly pursuits, wives, and children, but this birth offers an opportunity to be blessed by Purna Purushottam Narayan. He considered himself included in the etc. or others at the end of the devotees' names. Everyone went to Ramdas Swami. Shiji Maharaj appeared to Ramdas Swami in a dream, instructing him to bring the newly initiated Paramahansas directly to Bhuj instead. From Bhadra, Shiji Maharaj traveled to Bhuj. After several days, the newly initiated Paramahansas arrived with Ramdas Swami. Shiji Maharaj prostrated before them and walked halfway to receive them. He introduced each one to Sundarji Suthar, saying, "Each of them owns up to 5, 25, or 50 villages. Upon reading my letter, they renounced everything and rushed here with complete faith in me." Sundarji Suthar's eyes filled with tears. His ego dissolved, and he understood the significance of Shiji Maharaj's words. He recalled his remark in Bandhya and sought forgiveness. Shiji Maharaj then issued a new command to the Paramahansas, instructing them to shed their newly adorned saffron robes and resume their worldly attire. All except Kalyan Das, who wished to remain a Paramahans, returned home. Shiji Maharaj permitted Kalyan Das to stay and named him Adbhut Anand Swami. A single letter from Shiji Maharaj inspired these well-respected devotees and rulers to renounce their homes, families, and villages to become Swamis. Such was Shiji Maharaj's divinity that all who came into contact with him were freed from worldly desires and attachments. How devoted must those devotees have been, willing to obey Sri Hari's every command. A cow out of a donkey. Jhaverchand Meghani, a renowned and highly acclaimed scholar of Gujarati literature and a national poet, described Joban Puggy's former life. Killing a human with a knife, cutting him into pieces and throwing him into the fire was like roasting eggplants to Joban. Such was Joban's fierce personality. At that time, Joban Puggy's fear was widespread in Gujarat. It was said that Joban's arrow could travel unhindered from Gujarat to Kolkata and Pune. That is, no thief or robber dared to harass anyone carrying it. Joban had twice robbed the treasury of the Gaikwad government, which had placed a 50,000 rupee bounty on his capture. Yet, no one would betray his whereabouts. Even powerful princely states trembled before him. Joban would steal over vast distances, even in broad daylight, and remain uncaught. Once Bhagwan Swaminarayan held a grand yagna in Daban, attracting thousands of devotees from across the land. The finest horses of the great darbars were present, including Bhagwan Swaminarayan's famed Rojo Goro. Joban, tempted by the horse's reputation, thought, if I had such a horse, I could travel long distances in a short time, and this would help me loot more in a short time. That night, Joban carefully entered the stable under a dense banyan tree. As he attempted to untether the horse, he saw a globe of light. Looking up, he saw Bhagwan Swaminarayan adorned in golden clothes. His hand fell back, and Joban, hiding from Bhagwan's sight, quietly slipped into the darkness. A few days later, Joban walked into an assembly to meet Bhagwan Swaminarayan. He touched Shriji Maharaj's feet, and with tears in his eyes, he slowly stood up and apologized to Shriji Maharaj in a trembling voice. Maharaj, I came to steal your horse the past few nights, but I saw your divine form everywhere in the stable. Maharaj, I am a sinner. I did not recognize you. O Bhagwan, please have mercy upon me and pardon my great sins. Hearing Joban's heartfelt plea, Shriji Maharaj patted his back, consoled him, forgave him, gave him niyams, and told him to give up his evil deeds. Joban, who had terrorized Gujarat, became a devotee. He began a spiritual life, serving and worshipping Sri Hari. When Shriji Maharaj came to central Gujarat, Joban and his brothers served as Shriji Maharaj's bodyguards. Joban even donated his land for the construction of Vartal Mandir. Once, Joban had to go to the village of Vaso for some work. Kashyabhai was sitting on a second-story balcony overlooking the street of his house. On seeing Joban, he thought to himself, once upon a time, on hearing Joban's roar, or loud voice, all the doors and windows of Vaso would immediately close. Even babies would stop crying out of fear. Today, that same Joban silently walks through the streets of Vaso, wearing a tilak and a chandlo on his forehead, a kanti around his neck, and a mara in his hand. Kashyabhai, who opposed Bhagwan Swaminarayan, was astonished by Joban's transformation. Out of curiosity, he called Joban. Oh, Joban, what magic has Swaminarayan worked on you that you walk so firmly with this bold tilak on your forehead? Did Swaminarayan miraculously turn a donkey into a cow? Joban replied firmly, Kashyabhai, do you still want to see a miracle? Isn't it a miracle that you can talk to me like this? I was the chief of thieves. Swaminarayan made me a devotee. He gave me a kanti around my neck and a mara in my hand. Did he not transform me, a donkey, into a cow? Hearing this answer, Kashyabhai immediately understood the glory of Bhagwan Swaminarayan. Joban had developed a profound attachment for Sri Hari. When Shriji Maharaj left for Akshardham, Joban could not bear this sorrow and couldn't find peace anywhere. How and why am I still alive without Maharaj? He kept lamenting. The Sadgurus tried to console him. They asked him to take the ashes of Shriji Maharaj's last rites daily. So, while eating, Joban started mixing these ashes into his meals daily. He would think of Shriji Maharaj and find solace, and only then would he eat his food. One day, Joban sat down to eat. Rotla, or millet bread, and buttermilk were served in a bowl. When Joban asked for the ashes, his wife hesitantly said, "The ashes are finished." These words hit his ears, and Joban was shocked. Huh? His breath grew shallow, his eyes widened, and his body became lifeless. Joban went to Akshardham at that very moment. Such was Bhagwan Swaminarayan, who transformed a ferocious and ruthless robber like Joban into a great devotee. Anishuddha rice grains. The queen of Dharampur, Kushal Kaurba, had immense love and devotion for Bhagwan Swaminarayan. Despite having many servants, she personally undertook the arduous task of hand-husking rice to produce anishuddha, or flawless or unbroken grains for Shriji Maharaj. One day, Shriji Maharaj took some of these rice grains in his hand. Selecting a single grain from his palm, he asked the Swamis, "Santo, what is this?" The Swamis were surprised by Sriji Maharaj's question. Everyone knew rice was a daily staple. Why would Sriji Maharaj ask such a basic question? "Maharaj, it is rice," they replied. Sriji Maharaj repeated his question. "Santo, what is this?" Again the Swamis were perplexed. Muktanand Swami finally asked, "Maharaj, it is a grain of rice. Why do you keep asking?" Hearing this, Sriji Maharaj smiled. He rose from his seat, approached the Swamis, and showed the rice grains. "Santo, see how perfectly whole these rice grains are? Not a single one is broken, neither at the top nor at the bottom." Hearing that, Muktanand Swami said, "Maharaj, the queen removed the outer husk of every grain with her own hands, so naturally they are perfect." Sriji Maharaj smiled again. Imagine the effort required to husk each grain by hand, ensuring it remains whole. I want you all to be as perfect as these grains. Do you realize the efforts I put in to make you so? Sriji Maharaj's words caused the Swamis to reflect deeply. They were overwhelmed by the boundless compassion of Purna Purushottam Narayan. Muktanand Swami then said to Sriji Maharaj, "Maharaj, you are right. Your abode, Akshardham, transcends Maya. You strive to make us worthy of that abode by removing every imperfection. This is your immense compassion. Please also grant us the ability to strive for this perfection." Sriji Maharaj says in Vachnamrut Karara, section 2, number 45, "I don't want the slightest imperfection to remain in those who are said to be mine." How fortunate are we that Bhagwan himself has taken the responsibility to perfect us. Today, Guru Hari Mahant Swami Maharaj makes the same efforts to eradicate our imperfections and mold us into perfect grains of rice. We must now strive to make his efforts worthwhile.